Welcome to the best Monogatari arc tier list. So, I've been talking about this for a few episodes now that I've been wanting to do this because recently on the channel, if you don't know, we finished watching all of Monogatari. We just wrapped up the Orphan Monster season pretty recently, like a few days ago as of recording this. Now, bear in mind, I'm probably going to be recording this over like at least 2, maybe 3 days because it's going to be a pretty long one. I want to dedicate as much time as needed for this. I don't want to rush it out. So I want to talk about each of the arcs. I want to talk about my thoughts on them, my experience with them, what I like, what I didn't like about them, and then kind of like compare all of the arcs between one another and decide which ones are my favorites and which ones are my least favorite. Now, I do think that especially with something like Monogatari, there's going to be a lot of disparity between, let's say, my favorites and someone else's favorites. So maybe your tier list is completely flipped around like 180. Yeah, 180. And that's fine. That's fine. If you disagree with my placements, that's fine. I feel like that's one of the great things about Monogatari is it's entirely up to like personal experiences and interpretation. So I know that we're gonna differ like massively, so don't get triggered if I don't put your favorite arc as my favorite arc. That's all I'm trying to say. But you guys, up until this point, have been fantastic when it comes to like just being very understanding, so I feel like we're gonna be fine. So the way that I want to do this is I have a tier list here. So maybe I hope I'm showing it to you guys. I'm sharing the screen to you guys right now. So there is only 3 tiers, as you can see. And that's genuinely, I know that it's gonna be a bit of a cop-out maybe, but genuinely, I do think that there is no bad arc of Monogatari. Every single arc is, at the very least, a 7 out of 10 for me. Maybe even a 7.5, which for me, I would classify that as a B. You know, somewhere around 7.5 to 8 would be a B, for me personally. Everything above a 9, I would give an S. Like, honestly, everything above a 9 is an S tier, and then between 8 and 9 is an A tier. That's kind of like an approximation, but also it's gonna vary heavily. So, yeah, the way that I want to do this is I have all of the, I hope that these are all of the arcs that were in the anime. I went through it like 7 different times, so I hope I didn't miss any. And also the one thing, I guess, that's a bit of an exception is the Koyomimonogatari, which is 12 mini arcs. I just put it as 1 arc. I feel like that's better because, like, rather than doing like 12 mini arcs, each of them being like 12 minutes long, I just did it as like the entire season. And the way that I'm gonna do this is because this is everything that I'm gonna talk about is based on my first time watching it. So I never rewatched it or anything like that. So there are gonna be things that I probably missed and stuff like that. Still details that I do not remember and stuff like that. But I think there is value in giving, you know, thoughts after a first watch as opposed to maybe like after you rewatch it multiple times. So this is gonna be purely based on my first watch. So the way that I'm gonna do this is I have a tab here open with all of the arcs. I'm gonna, you know, go through every single one of the arcs, read the synopsis of it, and then give my thoughts on it, and then place it on the ranking. And also, after I finish up all of the rankings, I'm gonna probably, you know, move them up and down. I'm gonna, you know, adjust the rankings as we go. Maybe I put something in like S tier, and then as we go, I realize actually it's not, compared to the other arcs, maybe it's not as good as I remember it, and I'm gonna maybe bump it down a bit, or the other way around, maybe bump it up a bit. So that's currently the plan. And yeah, it's just gonna be kind of like a discussion, I guess, video, a very chill one where I just talk about my thoughts on each of the arcs. Anyways, let's go into the first one, which is gonna be, we're starting off with a banger, and that is Hitagi Crab arc. Now, let me first read the synopsis before I actually go into it. So, which one is it? Is it Hitagi Crab? Ooh, it's a bit of a long one. Okay. Strap in, boys. Wait, come on. Okay, strap in, boys. This is gonna be a reading journey. In a chance encounter, Koyomi Araragi encounters Hitagi Senjogahara and discovers that she weighs close to nothing. Hitagi later confronts Koyomi to keep her condition a secret to everyone, but he instead offers a helping hand, as he knew someone who is an expert in the supernatural, Meme Oshino, the person who restored him back to being a human again after being attacked by a vampire. Meme receives a gift from Koyomi and Hitagi and discovers that the latter had encountered a heavy stone crab. Did I say a gift? I meant a visit. I don't know where the gift came from. Anyways, encountered a heavy stone crab, or god due to discrepancies in interpretation, which stole her weight. In order for the crab to return Hitagi's weight back to normal, he sets up a ritual that is designed to coordinate a courteous request to the crab to take back what it has taken. Things, however, did not go as planned, and Meme is compelled to use force against the crab. Hitagi then pleads for the subdued crab to take back what it had taken. Yeah. It is revealed that the crab had taken the painful memories of her family life in the past along with her weight, and Hitagi finally accepted these memories. With the crab letting go of its hold over Hitagi, she declares Koyomi as her first true friend. So we are right off the back, starting with a banger. So wait, one sec. I need coffee for this, otherwise my voice is gonna die. So I want to talk about this arc. Let me go back to my tier list and let me talk about this. So this arc is definitely the perfect first arc for the series, in my opinion, because it's not very complicated. It's pretty straightforward. I feel like one of the most straightforward ways of like showing how symbolic oddities can be is showing it in terms of, well, weight in this case, right? Because everyone can see, oh, someone's weight got taken away, which you can imagine it symbolizes not only physical weight, but also some kind of like emotional weight, right? And I feel like it sets up this entire expectation of what this show is going to be perfectly, right? And also it sets up the best girl of the series, Senju Gahara, pretty perfectly, you know? It shows some of her tsundere sides, some of her more, well, a bunch of sides, the yandere sides as well, because she, oh boy, does she have those. Like her craziness oozes in these episodes as well. But it's only 2 episodes, right, I believe, which, I mean, it's a short arc. It's a banger of an arc, but it's very short. It's not too deep. It's just, it has a bit of a shock factor as well with the entire backstory of Senju Gahara. At least for me it was. I did not expect that it to go that deep, that dark, that fast. And I think it's just really, really good. Now, I don't think it's one of the best arcs of the series because, as I said, it's a very short one. It's an introduction to the series, and that's why I think it's gonna be somewhere around top of A, in my opinion. Just because I do want to kind of space it out. I did say earlier that B is like 7.5 to 8 for me. I think that might change as we go along. It's gonna be more so based on like gut feeling. So yeah, I think high A is for me Hitagi Crab. Now, we're going on to Mayoi Snail, or Mayoi Mai Mai, right? Okay, let's talk about, or let's read this out. On Mother's Day, Koyomi leaves the Araragi residence in spite of his sister Karen's protests and spends the day at the nearby park. Hitagi later meets him by chance and they talk about a lot of things, including his problems with his sister and Hitagi's determination to repay what he did to turn her back to normal. On that same day, wow, I cannot read. I'm just making up words as I go. On that same place, he meets an elementary school girl named Mayoi Hachikuji, and he decides to help her find her way back to home, one of the most influential moments in the anime. To Koyomi's surprise, he is unable to reach the exact edges of Mayoi's house. It was through Meme's intervention, relayed through Senju Gahara, that he discovers that Mayoi is already long dead. Moreover, Araragi was able to see her because spirits like her only appear on people with the desire to not return home. Oshino later guides them into finding where her destination is, and Mayoi disappears, having fulfilled her mission. Koyomi would later meet Mayoi again. This time, she is now classified as a wandering spirit. Now, I have a personal attachment to this arc. I really do, because I remember watching this, and if you watched my reaction to it, then you might know why. I watched this arc kind of being a bit confused as to what's happening and trying to make theories. And what I love about this arc is how perfectly timed all of the reveals are. And I remember watching this, and just before they announced what the reveal is, I was like, wait, is this what's happening? The reveal just popped into my head, and then they announced it, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. Like, they perfectly timed the announcement of the reveal. Like, just as I figured out what was happening, they revealed it. And I thought that was genius. And also the way that they used, you know, the entire honking sound in the flashback, they didn't show anything. They just, or maybe they showed like the traffic lights and stuff like that. And then you hear the car, or the truck honking and stuff like that, and you don't see what happened. And then I remember I was watching it, I was like, wait, what was that? What happened? And then I kept thinking about it, and they kept talking, and I was like, wait, does that mean that she got run over? And just in that moment, they revealed that she's a ghost, right? And that Senju Gahara can't see her. And that was something, like, the story-wise, I do think that Senju Gahara, like, Hitagi Crab, I think it's better. I prefer it when it comes to like purely character writing and like story-wise. But when it comes to like I don't know, when it comes to like the reveals, when it comes to just how fondly I remember it, I think I actually prefer Mayoi Snail. Oh, isn't this really, really hard? Oh, oof. This is honestly, am I putting it low A or I'm gonna put it low S for now. Purely because I think everyone's gonna have a different experience with this one, and I think people are gonna disagree with me on this, and that's fine. The reason why, to me, this one beats the Hitagi Crab one is because of the reveals and how perfectly timed they were. And maybe you figured it out, like you figured out all of those reveals before I did, and they didn't feel as perfectly timed for you, but for me they felt perfectly timed, and there's something about that that I really respect, and that makes this arc stand out in my memory a lot more. Anyways, yeah, but at the end of the day, it was also just set up for Mayoi's character, right? So it's not anything too big, and I feel like a lot of the first season is gonna be like this. Okay, let's go on to the Suruga Monkey arc. Ooh, this is a banger. With exam week closing in, Araragi plans to go on a study session with Hitagi at her place. Meanwhile, he meets Kambaru Suruga, a tomboyish-looking girl with a bandaged right arm. That night, when leaving Hitagi's place after a study sesh, Araragi was attacked by an unusual person wearing a yellow raincoat and having glowing red eyes. Fortunately, he manages to heal back his wounds due to his vampire blood. Is that it? Wait, is that it? Why is the actual synopsis so short? I feel like, isn't that the entire arc where he fights the Rainy Devil and stuff like that? That is the same arc, right? I'm not tripping, right? Yeah, that should be the same arc where he fights the Rainy Devil, because I feel like that fight scene with the Rainy Devil is one of the best scenes in Bakemonogatari, right? It was absolutely fantastic, that entire scene, and just not just the fight scene, but also prior to that, when he first meets the Rainy Devil on the railroad, right, or the railway, whatever, and the Rainy Devil just absolutely smashes his face in, and you can see bits of like his skull and like his entire face just like flying in different directions, and you're like, what just happened? This is the first time I'm seeing this kind of brutality in this anime, and there's just this guttural feeling that you get from this. Now, is that a bit of a shock factor? Yes, but does that take away, like, is it a bad use of a shock factor? No, I don't think so. I think it's a really good use of, like, just using a good shock factor like this. So I thoroughly enjoyed this arc. Also, I really like the story of how at first it's presented as like this monkey spa situation, and then you realize it's actually a lot more than that, right? It's a lot more than that. The entire Rainy Devil stuff is a lot more deep that you would expect, or that you were presented with at the beginning, and I really appreciated that. I really like that, and I think this arc was really good. Also, Suruga's energy just absolutely fantastic, and Sashiro Miyuki, like, she gives so much character to Suruga that it's just a joy to watch her on screen, right? Obviously, she's very much like, she's very weird. She's just a big weirdo, but I love it. I love it. I'm gonna put this above Mayoi Snail. I think, yeah, I will. I really appreciated the entire Rainy Devil and, you know, the entire debate about what are you willing to give up to become better than someone and stuff like that, right? I really liked those things. And like, will you regret those things? Like, what do you actually want? And how far are you willing to go to achieve that and stuff like that? I really like that. And yeah, it was just really good. And it was also the first look into the Suruga family, right? Which, or sorry, not the Suruga family, the Gaian family, more specifically, right? So yeah. Oh, speaking of banger arcs, one sentence. This is an arc involving this is an arc involving one of his little sister's friend whom he sees while visiting a temple with Kambaru. Why is it so short? I don't know. Nadeko Snake arc. I think this arc, when I first, if I were to rank this arc right after I finish Bakemonogatari, B. And maybe, I would say, when I first finished Bakemonogatari, I would say this was the weakest arc of the season. Easily. Now, after seeing the entire Nadeko story is, by the way, my favorite, like, all in all, my favorite story in the show. For sure. And after seeing all of that, it's hard to only judge this based on like the first arc without taking into account her entire story. Knowing her character and knowing what her character was back then and why she acted the way that she did and why, you know, why everything happened the way that it, why she was so clingy to Araragi, why she was so happy about, you know, her curses going back to those boys that did this to her, and like everything happening behind the scenes about Kaiki, about just how everything comes together. This arc is better than these two. I know that this is, like, once again, because in the comments, people, I remember when I finished this arc, and I was like, I don't know how to feel about it. This doesn't feel complete. And people were like, yeah, it's not, it doesn't feel like a complete arc because it's not. And, you know, it's not the strongest arc on its own. And I think that people might not like me putting it this high up. But after, like, I just can't. I honestly, I think every single Nadeko arc is going to be in S tier. I guess this is a spoiler for the future of the tier list. I think every single Nadeko arc is going to be in S tier because I do think that the Nadeko story is just so powerful and so strong that I can't put it below S tier. And this arc deserves to be up here. Okay. Oh, the first Tsubasa arc. Tsubasa, which one is this? Tsubasa Cat arc. The final arc involves a lot of flashbacks that clarify his relationship with his class president and their past involving a cat. That is very brief. Can we please get a... Is that actually the only explanation that we get of it? I'm trying to remember because there's so many Tsubasa arcs. And by so many, I mean like 3. But let me think. So this is the arc where she obviously... I'm trying to think. Wait, I'm gonna look it up actually. Okay. Okay, so I read the synopsis of the first episode of this arc. Wait, I have it open here. I do think this is the arc where she got severe headaches and stuff like that because of the relationship between Hitagi and Araragi, right? And obviously she got, you know, stressed out because of that, and Saori Neko emerges again. And this is the first time that we saw some of the glimpses of the Golden Week stuff that happened. I think that this is the, out of the 3 Tsubasa Cat arcs, or out of the 3 Tsubasa arcs, this is the weakest one, and I mean, yeah, duh, it makes sense. It's like the setup. Is it the weakest one though? Actually, it's not. It is. The other ones had like higher highs. I do think that this one is like, I would say low A. There's not too much to say about it apart from it was basically setting up the mystery of what is the Saori Neko, what, like, who is Tsubasa, what are her problems with her family, and it was very much a setup arc, right? And also it showed us the entire drainability from the vampires, or from Shinobu more specifically. I think it is a very much, it could maybe even later on move down to like top of B, because I do think it's mostly just a setup season, setup arc. Not too much more to say about this. Okay, sorry about that, my camera just cut out. So what I was saying is I'm gonna talk more about Tsubasa in later arcs because I feel like she deserves, you know, I think her character is fantastic and her arcs are incredible, but I think the later ones are just a lot stronger than this one. Okay. Yeah, next up, let me talk about Koyomi Vamp, or I think this is Kizumonogatari. Let's read up on it, because this is a big one. Kizumonogatari, Koyomi Vamp, Kizumonogatari synopsis. That is a very short synopsis. English release synopsis. Let's read this. Oh, plot. English release synopsis. Around midnight, under a lonely street lamp in a provincial town in Japan, lies a white woman, a blonde, alone, robbed of all 4 limbs, yet undead. Indeed, a rumor's been circulating among the local girls that a vampire has come to their backwater, of all places. Koyomi Araragi, who prefers to avoid having friends because they lower his intensity as a human, is naturally skeptical. Yet it is to him that the blood-sucking demon, a concept dated twice over, beckons on the first day of spring break as he makes his way home with a fresh loot of morally compromising periodicals. Always disarmingly candid, often hilariously playful, and sometimes devastatingly moving. Okay, whatever. What's the actual synopsis? The prequel novel features the life of Koyomi Araragi before the events in Hitagi Crab. It details Araragi's encounter with the vampire Kishot, Acerola Orion Heart Underblade, and his journey back into humanity from being a vampire. Not too much to work off of, and I'm not reading this entire thing here. Holy that's a lot. So let's just go based off of memory. Which there's some. Okay, so Kizumonogatari, first of all, let me say this. Visually speaking, the best arc. Like, the best arc. Hands down, no competition. Like, obviously, all of the arcs visually were incredible because the direction in it is so good, and also Studio Shaft are doing God's work with it. But visually speaking, Kizumonogatari, I think anyone's gonna, probably agree, or people are gonna have a hard time finding a reason to disagree with me saying that visually speaking, Kizumonogatari is just the best arc, right? Okay, or animation-wise, I mean. So yeah, and then let's talk about the story. So this is basically detailing the entire spring break situation that happened, right? Before Golden Week. And how he became a vampire, he met Kishshot or Shinobu, he met all of the vampire hunters and stuff like that, so... And also the entire ordeal, like his meeting with Hanekawa and stuff like that. So, when it comes to the story... purely the story-wise, it is really good. Don't get me wrong. It's really, really good. And it's showcasing a lot of Acerolas, especially in the last part. It's showcasing a lot of Acerola's emotions and a lot of her character, I guess. And also it's showcasing a lot of Haneka's character, and also obviously Araragi and stuff like that. It's really, really good at showcasing all of the characters and developing them for us, the viewers. I do think that it is one of the arcs that doesn't stand out as much because it doesn't deal necessarily with like... It's not a arc that's dealing with like someone having a problem and that problem manifesting as an oddity. It's very different, right? It's very, very different than the usual Monogatari arcs, I guess. And because of that, I do think that it sticks out a bit. Well, it sticks out a lot. It sticks out more, but also it doesn't feel as... I don't feel as connected to this actual story. It just feels like it's a story that is there to develop these characters that are going to be relevant later on. I wouldn't say it's a setup arc necessarily, but it is an arc that is there to showcase all the characters and like how they change, and it's really, really good at setting up, the Araragi and Hanekawa relationship, and also really good to showcase the relationship between Acerola and Araragi and stuff like that. And also, obviously, showcasing Mei Mai, showcasing all of the vampire hunters, and also, like, giving us Easter eggs for Acerola's past, which is gonna be revisited this year with Often Monster, or was revisited or last year, I think, with Often Monster. So some crazy foreshadowing and stuff like that happened in this arc. But all in all, like, I think the visuals were the strongest, or not the strongest, the most memorable point. I think the story was good, but it wasn't as... It didn't stick out or stick to me as much as some of the other ones. So I would give it a high A. I don't know. I think I put something somewhere and I just feel like a 1,000 people glaring at me angrily. So hopefully I don't trigger too many people with this. But yeah, visually speaking, best arc for sure. Story-wise, really, really good. Doesn't... Yeah, as I said, it didn't personally affect me as much as some of the other ones. So that's why it's top of A. Okay, let's just move on before I... Oh yeah, let me also say, the arc with the entire Tsubasa and Araragi scene where he's, like, touching her up. Jesus fucking Christ, some of the best animated sequences that I've seen in a long time. Jesus Christ, who, why, what? Thank you. Anyways, next one. Karen B. So, Karen B arc. This is the first arc in Nisimonogatari. Yes, correct. Let me see. Synopsis plot. Karen B. Without any knowledge of how it came to be, Koyomi finds himself in an unknown place as a prisoner. The reason for an answer for to his predicament seems to lay in Hitagi's past and the con artist Kaiki Deishu, but it becomes clear that there's much more to it than that, and it will threaten the well-being of those Koyomi holds dear. So, yeah, so. This is the arc where we get a lot of information about Kaiki. Is this the first arc that we ever meet Kaiki? I think so, right? It might be. Which, for that alone, I feel like this deserves to be an S tier. But realistically speaking, the entire Karen B arc is... Wait, is this the arc with the toothbrush scene? Oh, wait, it might be. Oh, wait, I think it is. oh, you guys are gonna kill me if I don't put this in S tier because it has that one scene in it. Okay. Look, guys, we are going objectively into this. I think that entire toothbrush scene went on for so long. That was some of the best directed sequences that I've seen in anime in a long time, honestly speaking. That was so well directed. Was there like a story element that was necessary? Like, was there any kind of like symbolism with that scene? Or was that just Nisha being like, you know what? I think that's kind of hot. So I'm gonna sneak it in there for like, you know, 12 pages of them just brushing their teeth. I think that's what happened, right? I think so. Because I'm trying to think, that episode, even though it was obviously like the most memorable, one of the most memorable episodes in all of Monogatari, it felt a bit not out of place, but it didn't feel as necessary, you know, for the story. But I know it's there for like other reasons, but still. Apart from that, I do think that this arc, I mean, it's not a bad arc. We saw a lot of Karen, and we saw her entire feeling of justice and feeling of, oh, I need to do this, I need to be like fiery passion and stuff like that. And we saw how her bee was wearing her down. We met Kaiki, we saw all of the insecurities, or not insecurities, but all of the relationship and past between Kaiki and Senjogahara. So it was a really good arc. Did I just remembered this. Did the date scene with Senjogahara and Araragi happen in Tsubasa Cat arc? If it did, I can't put it higher than this, no. But that episode is still one of my favorite episodes in all of Monogatari. The date episode with Senjo and Araragi. I think it did. Okay, I'm putting it. Actually, yeah, it's that good. It's that good of an episode. I think it did happen. I think it was like the last episode of. I think so. Anyways, if it didn't, that's fine. Anyways. In Karen B, so we got to see a lot of Kaiki, a little bit of Senjo, and obviously a lot of Karen. All in all, I honestly think this is like not the strongest arc. Let me say this, I really enjoyed Nisa Monogatari. I saw in the comments people were very split on it, right? Some people enjoyed it a lot. Some people were like, this is the worst season of Monogatari. I'm gonna say this right now. We're gonna get to it, but this is not my least favorite season of Monogatari, for sure. I really enjoyed Nisa Monogatari. I think the dialogue in it is so funny. This is also the arc where Hachikuji and Araragi have that conversation in like a cafe. I love that conversation about like oddities and how how oddities don't necessarily have to be real and stuff like that. I really like that conversation. Bottom of A. I really enjoyed a lot of this arc that wasn't necessarily related to Karen. And I love the banter and stuff like that in Nisa Monogatari. The banter was, honestly, in all of Monogatari, I think Nisa Monogatari as like a whole had some of the best banter in the entire series, you know? It's really, really good. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna need to take a break, so maybe you're gonna see me next day or something. Okay, so where were we? Let's go on to the next one. Don't look at the date, it hasn't changed. No, you're imagining stuff. Let's go on to the next one. So this is, I believe, the Tsukihi Phoenix arc. So let me read up the short synopsis of it before we actually go into it. So, the second story arc of Nisa Monogatari focuses on Koyomi's sister, Tsukihi. When Koyomi meets a pair of enigmatic women who know suspiciously too much about him and his friends, he couldn't have anticipated the ramifications of their presence. Now Tsukihi's life may very well be at risk, and the cause behind it will shake the foundation of everything Koyomi knows about his sisters. Okay, so this is the introduction of Yozuru and Ononoki. Now, I think that this introduction of these two girls is what carries this arc. Because, I mean, to be fair, I'm thinking back to this arc, and still, to this day, the one thing, you know how every single oddity, and I'm sure, I know I've talked about this before in my videos, but, in my Monogatari reaction videos, but, you know how every single oddity, you can somehow connect it to some kind of, like, psychological, or like you can somehow see how it symbolizes something. The phoenix is still something that I don't get why and what it symbolizes, right? And I don't know, because they alluded to it in Orphan Monster as well, right? In Tsukihi Undo, is that what it's called, the arc? I think so. They alluded to the entire Phoenix fact, and then they didn't really elaborate on it again. And I saw comments saying that the reason why it doesn't really symbolize, or the reason why we can't draw any parallels to, you know, any kind of like mental stuff, is because it's an oddity that afflicted the mom, right? Not Tsukihi herself, but the mom. And we don't know anything about the mom. That's why we can't really find the symbolism in it. Is because we would need to hear the mom's story before we could actually find what the actual symbolism in it is. So that's fair. I do wish that in later arcs, because I do know that he's still writing some stuff, and some of the arcs from Orphan Monster did not make it into the anime yet, so they're probably going to be adapted later on. So I hope that in those arcs we get to know more about the Phoenix. Apart from that, I think the best thing in this arc, as I said, is the introduction of Oronoki and Yozuru, and that's why it will be top of B. It's not anything too crazy. I guess we find out like the reveal of Tsukihi being like a phoenix and stuff like that is really cool, and I did really enjoy this arc. This is still a very solid arc. I enjoyed it. It was a short one, but a sweet one, and it was a fun one, yeah. But it wasn't like, it doesn't stick out as much as some of the other ones. Obviously, them like absolutely demolishing Tsukihi, like shredding her to bits, that was pretty shocking. That moment is very much sticking out in my brain, but apart from that, it was yeah, it was one of the less memorable ones, I would say. Okay, next one. What is this arc? This arc is Tsubasa Family? Wait, that's Tsubasa Family? Okay. Okay, let's read it. Wait, let me actually do it like this. Let's read it. Why does it look like that? Why is the picture like that? I guess it is. Okay, anyways. Black and white. Okay. The flawless class president, Tsubasa Hanekawa, the girl whom Koyomi Araragi owes his life to, was charmed by a cat during Golden Week. This is a story... Wait, this is the story of a human who plays a forbidden game towards becoming a monster. Those nightmarish 9 days, once sealed off and hidden, is now finally revealed. Wait, and then what is Tsubasa Tiger? Is that also Nikomonogatari? That's the white one, right? Okay. Yeah, so this one is Nikomonogatari Kuro, and then this one is Nikomonogatari Shiro. Okay, that makes sense. So this is the arc that has a bunch of flashbacks in it, right? It flashes back to a lot of the things that we already knew and we already saw. I'm gonna say, wait, I don't want to mess it up because I don't want to mix up the arcs. Wait, let me read out the Nikomonogatari Shiro one as well. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about you, Araragi-kun. The flawless class president, Tsubasa Hanekawa's first day of the second semester is closely watched by a monstrous tiger. Amidst the lifeless monologue is an unreachable confession. Yeah, okay. I think I understand the timeline in my head now. Okay, I would say this one, honestly... Ooh, I don't know if you guys are gonna agree with me. This was honestly so much, so many flashbacks. Like, and not the good kind of flashbacks, or they weren't bad, but this was the only point in the entire Monogatari series where I felt like, okay, we are actually repeating so much information that we've already seen in other arcs. And I feel, because we've heard so much about the entire Golden Week stuff, and you know, we've seen flashbacks to the Golden Week in Bakemonogatari before, and we've talked about them in like other arcs before, and then here we've talked about them again, and I feel like most of the information that they told us in this arc we've already known about. Sure, it recontextualized some of it, but not on a point where I was like, whoa, that was insane. Now, I do think that some parts in this were really cool, especially towards the end of the arc, but I'm gonna still put it at the bottom. Like, overall, unless I'm misremembering it, this is, as I said at the beginning, this is based off of me remembering or trying to remember it from my first watch. If I rewatch the entire series, this would look very different. I am 100% sure, because this is one of those shows that gets recontextualized probably the more times that you rewatch it, the more it gets recontextualized. I feel like, because you find so many details, but this is me giving my immediate thoughts based off of one watch only. So yeah, I think this is gonna be here, and then Tsubasa Tiger arc is gonna be top of S tier for now, because this is the arc where that I was just bawling my eyes out. The ending of this arc was absolutely phenomenal. It was, I mentioned it before in my reaction. It was, I watched it right after I watched the ending of Evangelion, the TV ending of Evangelion, episode 26. And it reminded me a lot of that. Like, I feel like it was very, very similar to that. And I really, really, really like that ending. And I really, really like that the way that the story went. Where it basically went, you know what, Hanekawa, you are this, you have no personality. You're trying to emulate a person right now, and you're being so perfect at emulating a person. You're trying to be so perfect, because if you try to put your personality in it, you can get hurt, and that's scary. And that's when, you know, Hanekawa started to accept, you know what, I'm gonna put in the effort to actually be a person. I'm gonna put in the effort to actually be someone, to have a personality. And that's when I was just like, oh, my heart. I fucking love this arc, and I love the ending of this arc specifically. Obviously, we saw this arc from like multiple perspectives, or I guess not this arc, but this time frame from multiple perspectives. And I believe this was the first time that we saw this perspective, right? Yeah, I think we saw it from like 3 different ones altogether. But yeah, it was a really, 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 really good one. So I enjoyed this arc immensely. It is, up to this point, it was definitely my favorite arc of the series, and Hanekawa's story in general, up to this point, was my favorite part of the entire show. Even if Hanekawa wasn't in my top 3 characters, or like, she was in my top 3 like best written ones, but she wasn't in my top 3 favorite ones. Does that make sense? Best written isn't the same for me as my favorite, right? So yeah, Hanekawa is not in my top 3 favorite characters of the show, but her arc definitely is in my top 3. So yeah. Anyways, next one is gonna be, oh, which arc is this? Mayoi Jiangshi, or Mayoi Ghost, I think. Let's read the synopsis. Araragi Koyomi and Oshino Shinobu decide to time travel back into 11 years ago, using up the remaining spirit particles at the shrine from Nadeko Snake. In their adventure, Koyomi saved Hachikuji Mayoi from the car accident that killed her. When they return to the present, they discover the world has changed drastically as a consequence of what Koyomi has done. Now they have to find an alternate way to get back to their original world. Okay. We obviously, it was interesting, you know, to look at all of the butterfly effect and stuff like that, and chaos theory, and introducing the entire time travel aspect of Shinobu and stuff like that. And also, I think, honestly, the most interesting part of this arc was how it intertwined with the entire time frame where Koyomi was missing, where the link between Koyomi and Shinobu was severed. Wait, that wasn't even this arc, was it? I don't think so. Wait, actually, I think it was, yeah. Where the link was severed, and you're like, the mystery behind why everything was happening the way it was, why Koyomi was unreachable for a long time, and like seeing this arc then, you were like, wait, was he unreachable because he was in the past, or what's happening? I think that was the most interesting part of this entire time frame. I think this arc specifically was a weird one, a very weird one, because it's a more so alternate arc than an arc that's actually happening. And it was really cool seeing all of those things. And obviously it played a role later down the line in the mirror world and stuff like that. But as an arc itself, it was top of B. Is either top of B or bottom of A. I'm gonna see. I might rearrange them later on. I do think that these ones are better. I do think that these two are a tiny bit worse. So I'm gonna put it top of B for now. Nothing much else to say. They obviously also introduced the entire, you know, vampire, what are they called again? The zombies? Or the ghouls or whatever. They introduced that aspect of it, which was really cool and obviously very, very relevant in Shinobu story at the very end. So that was also a very interesting story aspect of it. But yeah, anyways, yeah, that's about it. Not too much else to say about it. Let's go on to the next one. What arc is that? Hana Monogatari? Suruga Devil. It is Hana Monogatari. Okay, now we have a bit more to say about it. Synopsis. Our sorry hero, his reformed girlfriend, and the amnesiac class president have all graduated. Amnesiac, sure. Have all graduated from their high school out in the boondocks. What is this synopsis? And self-described Cephas and an ex-basketball ace Kambaru retired by reason of an injury is starting her senior year and the narrator of this volume. Her voice far more introspective than the smutty jocks we thought we knew. Yes, I'm gonna talk after actually. But after the company of her beloved mentors, the only other person around her with any working knowledge of aberrations, the junior Ougi Oshino, apparently a relative of the Hawaiian-shirted folklorist, she feels a bit alone and blue and sick with dread that the devil residing in her left arm, courtesy of the monkey's paw, might act up again while she sleeps. What in ChatGPT's description is this? Investigating a rumor that she fears might lead back to her, the former star ends up peering into an abyss of negativity called Roka, a wax flower, to take the character's meaning. Trapped in a pit, the like of which could only be escaped by the one girl who was able to pull off slam dunks in her basketball nationals, can the penitent Kambaru, however, still be aggressive? That's a crazy. Why do you word it like that? That's so okay. Anyways, anyways, so this arc is weird. I think this arc is. I know that people aren't. I feel like this is an arc that people were a bit split on, and I can see why. I think this arc started off really, really strong, and I actually really, really, really liked the entire story of was it Roka? The entire story with her and the devils and stuff like that, I actually really, really liked. And the reveal with her being dead and stuff like that, I actually found really, really interesting. And I do think that seeing the perspective of Kambaru, where she is not interacting with Araragi and therefore being different, not being as cheeky, not being as funny, was also really interesting to see. Because obviously she's gonna act more cheeky, more funny, and like make a lot more jokes when she's with Araragi. But when she's alone, she's gonna be a bit more toned down, obviously, right? So it was really interesting seeing that side of Suruga. I do think that after the initial premise of Roka and her gathering the devil parts, and obviously the reveal about Roka being dead, was it even Roka that was dead? I think so. Anyways, after that entire thing went down, I do think that the arc became a bit staler. I don't think that it ended on the highest of notes, but it was a very chill arc, I would say. It felt very much like just chill. Not chill necessarily. I don't think that's even the correct word to describe it. It was just very I don't even know how to describe it. Melancholic. It was also very not out of place, but very different from every single other arc. It definitely didn't feel like it belonged in the story here. Partially also because of the time frame that was happening in. And oh yeah, was this also the arc that had Kaiki at the beginning and stuff like that? It was, wasn't it? And we got to know about Gaian and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's why part of the reason why this arc started off really strong. I loved seeing Kaiki at the beginning, and especially after being like murdered in the episode prior to that, right? So it was really interesting seeing Kaiki there, and then seeing the entire thing go down with Roka and stuff. And then it kind of slowed down to a bit of an epilogue-ish arc for Kambaru, which makes sense for the time frame and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think that this may have been my least favorite arc in the entire show, maybe? Wait, what? Honest? No, I'll do it like this. This one was just so many flashbacks. Like this one had really good moments in it, but a lot of them were just very repetitive. Meanwhile, this one was definitely slowed down in later episodes, but it had an interesting and original premise. So it was still pretty good and had some really good moments in it. So that's my view on this arc. Okay, next one. What is this one? This is one of the Nadeko ones. So, Nadeko Medusa. Is this Otorimonogatari? Oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Now, this is... I'm gonna say this right off the bat. This is the most memorable arc for me. Okay, let's talk about synopsis first. Let me take a sip. Okay. You're a liar, even though you're already a god. The girl who was once possessed by a winding serpent, Nadeko Sengoku. The girl who has been in love with Koyomi Araragi for so long now appears as an angel in pure white, but her true colors are... As the story approaches its final chapter, it twists around, entangling, evolving... Well, I guess... Wait, do I want to read the English synopsis as well? No, I'm fine. Okay. Let's talk Otorimonogatari. So, I feel like this is the only episode, or the only arc, where I had like a pretty big... what's the word? Disagreement, I guess, with a pretty large amount of you guys. And that's fine. Obviously, everyone's gonna have their own opinions. Everyone's gonna have their own experiences in life. And I feel like that's effectively what led to a pretty big disagreement. And by the way, nobody was really like rude about it from what I could tell. But people were pointing out like their own stories. People were pointing out, you know, their own interpretations of some of the events. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it is the episode where Nadeko flips. Just where Nadeko's emotions just flip when she cuts her bangs and goes to school and then just becomes the angry Nadeko. That is the episode that I wasn't a huge fan of, especially initially. So the reason for that is because I think up until that point, I actually related to Nadeko a lot. Like a lot. And everything that they did, everything that she did, I was like, oh, I feel you. Like, I feel very uncomfortable because of how close this is hitting. That's how I felt every time I saw Nadeko, especially in Otorimonogatari. And then that scene happened, and that's the moment where I stopped relating to Nadeko. That's the moment where her feelings kind of like just exploded. And that was like, oh, that's not how I felt at all. Like when, you know, feelings would explode for me, it wouldn't go that way at all. And everyone deals with it differently. And I think just seeing her be so close to what I was relating to, and then suddenly that being flipped on something that I could not relate to at all, that kind of gave me some whiplash in that episode. That's why I think I went maybe a bit too harsh on it. I mean, I didn't say it was bad or anything like that. I just said I don't get it necessarily, right? And I do, to some degree, I still think that it's hard for me to fully sympathize. I don't know which one it is, but it's I definitely did not go through that kind of experience, and it's hard for me to fully get it. But I think what actually the interpretation that I preferred over this, which I think is more so the interpretation that the story is also going with like later arcs of Nadeko, is that it's not necessarily... Because initially I thought, oh, they were doing the story of this is the true Nadeko, and finally she can like show her true colors. And I don't think that was the case. That was my initial interpretation of it, and I really disliked that interpretation. And I don't think that was what they were going for. I think they were going for more so, it was just a bunch of emotions in Nadeko that she was repressing, just suddenly bursting, and her having like an outburst of a billion emotions, right? And that was just that explosion that we saw there, right? That wasn't, as I said, yeah, that wouldn't be the true Nadeko or anything like that, because I'm not gonna go into that. Again, you can watch my episode on that to hear my thoughts. Yeah, I don't think that was the true Nadeko. I think that was just a bunch of emotions bursting from Nadeko because of the buildup of stress, the buildup of acting as a decoy, if you will, and stuff like that. So yeah, and once I fully kind of understood that, that's when I started to really appreciate this arc even more. And seeing how the Nadeko story ends in Off and Monster, and like brings it all together, I think, okay, after I finish this arc, if you told me, okay, rank this arc somewhere, I would have given it, this is Kizu, this is, I would have put it here. If you tell me right now, rank this arc. Oh, this is so hard. It's either one or two. It's either here or here. Which one is it, guys? Okay. I'm gonna save the spot. Oh, no. That was a misclick. I'm saving the spot. I think just because the Tsubasa Tiger arc is the completion of Tsubasa's story, the finale of it, and because of how much it made me cry and how perfectly it closed off the entire story, I would keep it at number one. When it comes to pure emotions and purely how memorable it is, this one would be number one. Honestly, Otori Monogatari would be, for now, number one. But yeah, just because this is more of a perfect story in my opinion, at least this arc in itself, I would put it here. This one definitely felt like a middle arc, right, for Nadeko, because it's not the end of her story at all. We have, I would say, 2 more arcs that are very important for Nadeko, so we'll see those in the future. Next arc. What is that? Is that a Unimonogatari? I think so. Shinobu Time. Unimonogatari. Synopsis. Immediately following the events of Kabuki Monogatari, Araragi and Hachikuji begin having run-ins with a near indescribable void. Oh, it's this one, which seems to be pursuing them for reasons that they cannot determine. The answer to the question and the solution to their predicament lies in the memories of Shinobu and the insight of literally know-it-all Izuku Gaen. But it will require Mayoi to finally abandon her existence as a lost cow and leave the living world behind for good. It's that episode, guys. It's that episode. Okay. So with Unimonogatari, that was the arc where, once again, we were in the time span, the time frame where everything was happening. Where in a span of like 5 days or something, just everything went down. Like shit hit the fan real fast. And you were like, what's happening? And once again, that was the best part of that time frame for me, was just entangling the mystery of what the fuck happened in this few days that everything just seems so weird. Like, why is there no link between Shinobu and Araragi? Where did Araragi go? Why is he so unreachable? Like, what's happening with Tsubasa? What's happening with everyone here? Like, it's so weird. And I love that. I love the mystery behind it. There was then one episode where we went through Shinobu's backstory, and that was pretty interesting. It definitely felt like a bit of a setup episode, which it was for the Often Monster arc that's gonna be coming. Which, wait, do I have this? Is this in the correct order? No, it's not, right? I think it's actually this order. I just noticed it. Okay, anyways. So yeah, it's definitely, that one episode was interesting, but it wasn't like mind-blowing because it did feel like setup. And it was setup. So that was good. But then we saw the entire thing go down with Izuku Gaen. Was this also... I'm trying to think. Was this also the arc where we were fighting the kin? Was it? I don't remember. I think so, right? I think so. I think that was the arc where we fought the kin, and everything with the kin went down and stuff like that. And then at the end, obviously, we relieved Hachikuji of her duty as the god, or sorry, as a snail or lost cow, and yeah, Hachikuji died. I remember shedding a few tears for it. I think now, looking back at it, if you take away that one scene at the very end with Hachikuji, this arc would be probably like high B for me. Honestly. Maybe low A, purely because of the mystery. If you add that entire part with Hachikuji at the end, how much does it carry it, guys? How much does that one part at the end of Unimonogatari carry it? Well, there's also the mystery aspect that I, as I said, really, really enjoyed. Did I prefer it over this? Yeah. This? Yeah, that sounds about right. That's fine. That's fine. I'll take that. I think so. It's very close between these three, honestly. It's very, very close. But I think this is fine. Okay. Oh, is that Koyomimonogatari? Oh, that's Koyomimonogatari. Hitagi End. Okay. What a weird arc. Okay. Don't you think unrequited love that lasts forever is happier than mutual love? Don't you think unrequited love that lasts forever is happier than mutual love? Okay. Okay, Nadeko. As winter holidays approach with the promised destined day, she chose the darkest and worst option. Yeah. Sounds about right. I mean, what the fuck? What are these? Look at this synopsis. And it is indeed a con that he agrees to perpetrate uncharacteristically pro bono on a Jesus Christ. Okay, anyways. Koyomimonogatari. So this arc was started off very weird, right? It started off very, very weird with the entire Senjogahara and Kaiki stuff. And there's a weird fascination people have with like their relationship. Like most people are like chill and are like see it as like this kind of like really weird, toxic, but also kind of like codependent relationship that they have, especially Senjo to Kaiki. And then there are people who go a bit above that, and I'm like, I don't even want to entertain that thought. So yeah, anyways, apart from that entire sequence, which by the way, it's a very memorable episode when Senjo went to meet Kaiki. It's definitely very memorable, but I think that the best arc or the best part of this arc is the entire Kaiki and Nadeko ordeal, right? I really love the way that went down. And I think it's because, once again, Nadeko just carries every single arc. She's such an incredible character that you just put her in an arc and she's gonna carry, right? Her story is just gonna carry. Because she is such an incredibly written character. And no matter what kind of role you give her, she's gonna become like so memorable. Yeah. And I absolutely love the entire part with that. And also, I loved Hanekawa in this. Hanekawa in this arc was so interesting. She was so cool. And the entire exchange with Hanekawa and Kaiki was really interesting. Like, it was just a fantastic arc when it comes to all of those things. It's definitely S tier arc. It's here. Yeah, this is an easy choice. It's here. It's not more memorable than Otori Monogatari. Even though we did have a good ending for like a great almost ending for Nadeko, right? And then it did not give me the emotions that what's this one? Tsubasa Tiger gave me. So, but apart from that, it was just absolutely incredible, right? And I think it deserves to be number 3 for now. Okay, next one. Not much else to say about it. Next one, Yotsugi Doll. So this is Tsukimonogatari. That's the one. Okay. Whoa. Please do it and get it over with. Slowly but surely, Koyomi Araragi, who has been averting his eyes from reality, has no choice but to face it. February comes and the college exam is approaching. What is this change that is happening to his body that cannot be overlooked? The Monogatari begins to sprint towards its conclusion. This is oddity taking place in the modern world. In a story of youth, a word of farewell is inevitable. Is studying hard in her master. Worried about the state, he enlists the help. Yeah. Quickly realizing what is wrong with him, Yozuru gives him 2 choices: either abstain from using the vampiric abilities he received from Shinobu Oshino, or lose his humanity forever. Wait, I am trying to remember. By a very dangerous. Teoru is also. Is this the one where they killed Teoru, right? Sneak up to the shrine. Yeah. Okay, and then find Kambaru, the shrine. They don't know harm. Yeah. Okay, this was a weird arc. This was a very weird arc. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about this arc, because this arc felt definitely like just a show of the consequences that Araragi could suffer if he were to give in to the entire oddity thing, right? If he became a full oddity, to make him realize the consequences of becoming an oddity, right? And using his vampiric powers even further. And also to introduce the character of Theory, or Tadatsuru, or whatever it was, right? So it was a weird arc. Like, I don't know how to feel about it. There were some parts that were interesting. I think the entire beginning of the arc was kind of The build-up of it, like of you know, the kidnapping and stuff like that. I think the message of it and the ending of the arc was really good, but I think everything else, I mean, it was a short one, but I would still put it at like, is it B plus or A minus? Is it B plus or A minus? Is it better than going back in time? I think it added more to the story, especially considering what later on happens. I would put it at A minus. Ooh, yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, next one. Koyomi. Okay, so this is just all of the Koyomi arcs. So all of the Koyomimonogatari arcs. Now, these ones were all fun. Koyomi Stone is to me most memorable because I feel like I quoted it many times later down the line, and I feel like this is just one that's just stuck in my brain. I don't know why, but just them talking about how even a regular stone can become an oddity if people believe that it's an oddity, if people believe that it has powers, right? Or if people believe it has divinity, then it can become an oddity, or it can become like something more than just a stone. And that's the message that kept, you know, kept coming up to in my mind whenever they were like talking about oddities and different stuff in the anime. Apart from that, like, they were interesting. I'm gonna say that this is probably my... What was this one again? Oh, this is the Tsubasa flashback arc. I would say, I mean, look, it's hard to put this any higher. It's not like it was very relevant to the story. It was fun. All of it. I had fun throughout all of the episodes. They were short. I think that if these episodes were longer, I would be like, ooh. But they were very short, very compact, and had a fun message to go with it. Some of them were better than others, but at the end of the day, it's hard to compare this to all of the other arcs, right? Because it does not have a coherent story throughout all of it and stuff like that. So I think it's, yeah, it's unfairly judged, but it's also hard to put it any higher than, you know, bottom of B. So yeah, still very fun, a lot of fun. I did not, you know, I had fun through all of Koyomimonogatari, but yeah, it's hard to say that it's better than any of the actual story arcs. Okay, speaking of actual story arcs, we are on to Ori Monogatari with, I think this is Ougi Dark. Wait, no, it's Ougi Formula? When's... Oh, Ougi Dark is later on. Okay, Ougi Formula in Ori Monogatari. So, the first one. Book 1? Is that Ougi Formula? I think so. Book 1, right? Out of 3 books, is that it? I don't know. Actually, I don't think that's it. The Chancellor student with pitch black eyes. The Chancellor student with pitch black eyes, Ougi Oshino, as she explains with a smile on her lips, what is Koyomi's Araragi starting point? On that day, during his first year in middle school, the boy tastes despair. These are the modern day oddities. A shadow that tells of the end of youth pierces through. Okay, so Ougi, what's it called? Ougi Formula. This arc stressed me out. This arc stressed me the fuck out. So it was a great arc. Like, all of the direction, all of the camera shots, the incredible animation, and just Ougi's character in this very ambiguous character was so... Everything was so ambiguous. Everything was so like, what's happening here? So mysterious, but not in a way where you're like trying to figure out a mystery. It's in a way where it's very unsettling. And I was very, very, very unsettled throughout this arc, but it was really good seeing, like, when it comes to like the actual story, seeing like where Araragi's character comes from and like what happened and stuff like that. It was really, really good, right? Nothing to write home about. It was just really fun, and obviously it set up a lot of the next arcs that we're gonna be getting to. The main thing is Ougi's character, right? This is the thing that sets it apart. And Ougi, she really unsettled me the most, because it felt like she could manipulate Araragi so easily, right? And I got so worried because Araragi was just acquiescing to every single thing that Ougi was saying. He was telling her all the information, and I was like, if Ougi has any bad intentions towards Araragi, then Araragi is gonna get manipulated to shit, right? Because he's just telling her everything. He's opening up fully to her, and she can easily manipulate him if she wanted to. Obviously, we know how that went down, so that's a different story in hindsight. But yeah, when I was first watching it, I was like, oh god, please, please, Ougi, please, please, please be, oh, please be a decent person. Please don't manipulate Araragi. And that's what unsettled me the most, is just knowing how easily Ougi could just do anything she wanted to Araragi, right? When it comes to, and I don't know if it was intended or not, but yeah, it was just a very unsettling arc. One of the most unsettling arcs in the entire show for me personally. It was really, really good. Better than Monogatari. Was it better than the Nadeko Snake arc? Yeah, it was. Was it better than Koyomimonogatari? No, it wasn't. It was here. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's a good place for it. Okay, I think I'm gonna reorganize some of the arcs when we finish with this. But how long have we been going? Okay, I can do a bit more. Let me finish it up today. At least try to. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, this is Sodachi Riddle. Okay. Is that this one? Book 2. No. This is this one. Yeah, Lamar. Okay. Let me quickly see which one. Carefully enters the classroom, sitting in his seat. Okay. Is this the one where they... Oh, this is the one where they went into the older house and the entire story got told to them, right? The entire backstory was revealed to us. That's the one. Okay, this is the backstory one. Okay, good. Because I'm kind of like mixing together these two arcs, right? Sodachi Lost and Sodachi Riddle. Okay, so this was a cool one. Honestly, my favorite part of this arc was just talking about, like, nerding out about the Monty Hall problem, because I personally like it. Because it is simple, but also it takes a bit of mental arithmetic and stuff like that, and some statistics and stuff to figure it out. But it's a nice, fun problem to have. And I just really like tackling those kind of mathematical concepts. And that was my favorite part of this arc, was just talking about the Monty Hall problem. But apart from that, it was really interesting seeing the entire story of Sodachi or Oikura go down, and the revelation, or I guess the revelation that we got from about the domestic abuse and stuff like that, and them taking in Oikura, like the Araragi family taking in Oikura. That was very interesting. Once again, one thing that was very unsettling was, once again, Ougi for me, because once again it was so easy for her to pry information out of Araragi, right? She was getting so much information about him without him even realizing what he's doing or why he's telling her all that information. He even pointed it out when he talked about, like, his parents being police officers, and he was like, wait, why am I even telling you this? I never told this to anyone. And that's when I was like, if she has bad intentions, you're in so much trouble. And I was I was so I don't know, unnerved by Ougi, right? I was always thinking, okay, is she gonna do something bad? Is she gonna do something bad? Is she gonna use all of this information for something bad? So that's why Ougi was very unnerving for me personally. And this arc was good at setting up the next arc. This arc was really good at making the next arc shine. And apart from that, as an arc on its own, this is Kizo. It's a... is it better than... I think it's here. It could be top of 8 though. I think the next arc definitely outshines it by a lot. That's why I maybe am putting it a bit lower than maybe I would have. I will put it here. Okay, but speaking of the next arc, let's go on to Sodachi Lost. Yes, Sodachi Lost. Yeah, this is the arc that got me to cry again. Yay, surprise. I think this was the third time that I ended up crying at this show, and this arc was sweet, very short, and just, I think I forgot to mention in this arc, The VA absolutely carried it. Jesus fucking Christ. What incredible voice acting. And in this one as well, the voice acting, just for Oikura's VA was absolutely... Was it Marina's... I forgot. But either way, she absolutely killed it. And yeah, in this arc as well. This entire story of Sodachi of Oikura was so good. And just, as I said, pretty short, but short and sweet. It didn't... Like, it wasn't drawn out as much as Nadeko's one. That's why it isn't, for me, as... Like, it doesn't leave as much of a lasting impression as Nadeko does, but it's still a really, really good one. I would put it here. Here. Yeah, I would put it here. That's fair. Yeah, as I said, Nadeko just has the power of being there from like episode like 4 or something or 5, and up until the end having like a presence in the show, whereas Oikura was first brought up in Ougi Monogatari. But still, it was a very great arc. Some incredible character writing, and yeah, ended up crying because it was very serious and very depressing and very dark. And I believe it's the only arc without any oddities in it, and it was one of the best ones. So yeah, interesting how that turned out. Oh, is this the one where they fought the kin? What's this one? Shinobu Mail? Wait, whoa, what's Shinobu Mail again? Wait, there's multiple arcs in this? Which one is this? Oh, this is still Ougi Monogatari. Oh my god. Okay. Why is there so many arcs in one season? It's been 3 days. I'm not gonna read the entire thing. Fight between Oikura and Senjogahara. Okay. Before Aragi and Hanekawa leave, Oikura asks them to find her mother. Wait, what? Am I on the right arc? No, that's Sodachi Lost. Okay, Shinobu Mail, okay. As described in Shinobu Time, Guy and Izuku request the help of Kambaru Suruga. Yeah, this is the arc that I was... this is the arc that brings together the entire time frame of this... Well, time frame, I guess. So yeah, this was a interesting arc, bringing together everything that happened during the Tsubasa Tiger arc, during the... what other arcs were there? You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, this was really cool. I'm trying to remember what is the most memorable thing about this. Honestly, you know what the most memorable thing about this arc is? It's Ononoki stepping on Araragi's face. What else happened here? Obviously, they fought the kin, which was really cool. And that entire ending of how like they got... I mean, it gave us exposition of why they had the swords and stuff like that, right? The heart span, the gem span stuff. And it gave us... It told us about more about the kin and how he died, and Shinobu ate him and stuff like that. So, exposition-wise, it was really cool. And also, it gave us... Oh, yeah, that's right. It gave us the reason why Ougi knew the name of the kin, because of, like, a bunch of different... factors playing into it, right? Of sucking the memories and stuff like that, like the energy drain or whatever, and then energy getting into Shinobu, and it's just a lot of weird stuff, but it ended up making sense. I don't remember the exact explanation behind it anymore, but I remember it making sense. So it was a fun one. It was better than this because this time frame was so good. Also, this was also the time where the time frame felt just a tiny bit redundant to me, because it's been done so many times that I kind of already figured out how the timeline was going, and that's when this one started getting a tiny bit redundant. And also the time frame was, because it's been a long time since we last tackled this time frame, I was a tiny bit lost at the beginning with like, where are we at in the story. But Karenbi, I would put it here. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Honestly, the more that I'm thinking about it, the more I want to put this one up. Okay, yeah. So, then next arc. What is this arc? This is Mayoi Hell arc. Is this Ougi Monogatari still? It is. I think I remember. This is the one where they just went into hell and then back up. Mayoi Hell. Lowest of Hell Aravitsi. Kaikideshu. Yeah. And then Tadatsuru happened, and then... Yeah. Okay. Once again, this one was definitely a a arc that was there to fill in some. It felt like definitely the arc that was there to fill in the plot of Araragi, or to finish up the entire plot of Araragi becoming more and more like an oddity. And it was there to kind of eliminate that threat of Araragi fully becoming an oddity, right? And it was interesting seeing how you could use the heart span and the dream span to basically make someone get rid of their oddities. And it was brought back up again during the final arc of Off and Monster, right? They talked about this new method of getting rid of oddities on people and stuff, which was really, really interesting. Like getting rid of like being a vampire and stuff. Apart from that, like this arc is definitely, once again, a bit less interesting to me. On a personal level, it didn't really affect me much. It was nice seeing Tadatsuru down in hell and stuff like that, and it was pretty hype, like seeing how the entire dream span and heart span were used. And also, it was great seeing Hachikuji being revived because of it, right? We got Hachikuji back, which was great to see. But apart from that, it was a good arc. It was better than this. Better than this as well, I would say. It wasn't better than Kizu, though. It was here. That's... yeah, it was here. That's fair. Okay, next arc is Hitagi Rendezvous. Is that still Owari? Jesus, how long is Owari Monogatari? Whoa. Okay. Hitagi Rendezvous. That is the date arc, right? Is it? Let me see. Where are you, Hitagi Rendezvous? Outside the house. This was such a good arc. Yeah. Ah, yes. This is such a good arc. I love this arc. It's such a simple one, but you know what the best thing about this arc is? Wait, let me, wait, I'm actually getting so worked up. It's getting really hot. Give me a second. Whew. Okay, so you know what the best thing about this arc is? It's how you just realize in this arc how incredibly well written Araragi and Senjogahara are as characters, because you can just take those two characters, put them in any kind of scenario, just make them do something, a slice of life episode, and you're gonna be completely hooked on the screen for the entirety of the episode or of the arc, you know, because they are such incredible characters and they can just do anything and talk about anything, and I'm just gonna be sold. And I think these two are the best ones when it comes to that in the entire show. I know that there are other characters that you could say that they have my attention like 100% of the time, but these two are the ones that are, to me, the prime example of that, and the biggest example of that as well. And because of that, and also obviously we saw some bits of Ougi in it as well, and like there were some, you know, weird shenanigans happening with her. But apart from that, it was just a fantastic arc that I enjoyed immensely, even if not much happened in it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's it's not better. I feel like there's a big divide between Nadeko and this one. But yeah, it's a really good one. It's just a really good one. It can't go higher because honestly, there's not much else that happened in the story with this one. There's a hair bugging me. Where is it? Okay, anyways. But it was still really, really good. Okay, Mirror World, right? What's it called? What is this arc called? Ougi Dark. This is the Mirror World one, right? In Owari Monogatari. I believe so. Ougi Dark? Yeah. To fight Oshino Ougi. No. A god is necessary and repel oddities. Yeah. The scene shifts to Araragi Tsukihi. Visiting Sengoku, helping her draw manga. Ougi. The scene flashes back to the park where Gaien reveals that Ougi's true identity is Araragi Koyomi himself. Yes. She is an oddity that Araragi created. Yeah. The white snake is called Kuchinawa. Oddity was also created by herself. Toa had extremely high expectations of herself and those around her. To camp school. Wait, is it the Mirror World? Whoa! Oh no, it's not. Wait. But oh my god, this is. Wait, what? Wait, is the next one the what's the next one? Koyomi Reverse. Oh, that's the Mirror World one. Ougi Dark is a different one. Oh, 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 oh. Here. Yeah, it's better. Oh, the next one is the Mirror World one. I remember. Okay, I was so confused for a second. I was like, wait, which one is this again? Yeah, the ending of this arc by itself is so fucking good. The entire dialogue, the way they go on. Honestly, this is one of those arcs where I had to actually, like, I feel like I definitely need to rewatch it. I definitely do. Because this is one of those arcs where I don't remember everything from it. And even just when I finished it, I went into Koyomi into the next arc, right? And I remember seeing comments about some stuff in like they were like, oh, but they talked about this in Ougi Dark, and I went back and I rewatched like the first minute of the final episode of Ougi Dark, and I was like, wait, I don't remember them talking about this at all. Whoa, this is really, really cool. And from the top of my head, I don't remember what was exactly the detail that they talked about, but obviously the main thing about this was Araragi and Ougi being the same oddity, and then Araragi saving himself, because obviously when you have an oddity, it's kind of like an unspoken rule, or I guess it is kind of like also a spoken rule, that you need to save yourself. You shouldn't let someone else save you, otherwise the oddity is not going to go away. And here, it was interesting because Araragi saved his oddity, which was a part of him, which was basically a reflection of him, and in turn, he ended up saving himself, which makes it so that Ougi survives. Anyways, it was just a really cool way to go about it. Mai Mai showed up. It was just really badass. Really cool arc. I just remember really enjoying it. Don't have too much else to say about it. It's just a really, really, really incredibly strong arc. So yeah, I'll put it here. Okay, next one. Koyomi Reverse. Mirror World arc. Do I need to open it up like right here? Is this Zoku? Oh, this is in Zoku. Koyomi Reverse. Is it only Koyomi Reverse in this? Oh, is it? Is Zoku Ori Monogatari only Koyomi Reverse? Wait, is it? I think so. Whoa. I did not... Okay. Okay. I'm so happy right now, but somehow I think all of this is a lie. With the battle with Ougi Oshino over, it was finally time to graduate from Naoetsu High School the next morning. Waking up without his sister's help, what is the new world that Koyomi Araragi, who just became a nobody... What is the new world that Koyomi Araragi, who just became a nobody, going to face? Okay. The continuation of their story, this is the modern day oddities. Okay. So yeah, this is the mirror world. Okay. So this was once again a weird one. I feel like I said this for a lot of the arcs. It was a very weird one. But once we figured out what this was and how this was like a mirror world, and it was basically the 20% of the light that doesn't get refracted, getting, being pulled into our world basically, and adding onto our world, and seeing the other sides of people and stuff like that. That was just really, really cool. And one thing that I loved about this one is, seeing Tsukihi be the same, and that being explained later on in Often Monster and stuff. That was really, really interesting as well. And the main part was obviously finding out that Ougi is actually part of the mirror world as well, or she was created by the mirror world. Once again, I don't remember the exact specifics behind it, but it was just a really cool arc. I just really enjoyed seeing like all of the other side of people, and like who is hiding, or not hiding, but who has like different sides to them and stuff like that. And the interesting thing as well was seeing Black Hanekawa, because she just appeared as the Black Hanekawa that we know of, and that's because Black Hanekawa by definition is the other side of that of Hanekawa that she was repressing, which is by definition just Black Hanekawa, which was really, really cool. It was a fun arc. Some good revelations in it as well. I think it's below Kizumonogatari, but it is above Mayoi Hell. Is it above Mayoi Hell? Is it? Yeah, it is. but below Kizumonogatari. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Is this Tsukihi Undo? I think so, right? Sodachi Fiasco we didn't see. I'm trying my hardest not to read the titles. Tsukihi Undo. Tsukihi Undo. While pretending to be her doll, Tsukihi catches Yotsugi moving when she thought she wasn't around. Yotsugi tries to convince Tsukihi she's a magical girl possessing her doll by defeating a monster. Very simple, very short arc. One episode arc, right? And I think it was one episode at least. And it was really, really fun seeing, you know, Tsukihi trying to bullshit her way out of, or not Tsukihi, sorry, Ononoki trying to bullshit her way out of Tsukihi catching her that she's actually alive and stuff like that. That was really, really cool. I really enjoyed that two episodes. I think it was one episode. Yeah, it was really, really fun. I do think that it just ended with like without any kind of. I mean, it ended with in a way where it was open-ended. It was basically just saying how Tsukihi keeps repeating the stuff she does. She never learns anything because she is an oddity, and oddities aren't supposed to learn anything. Oddities aren't supposed to change, and she is an oddity. She's a phoenix. So that's why she never learns. She's always like stuck in this almost a loop, I guess, of not growing. And also because she is immortal, every single time that something that is supposed to be painful happens, her oddity suppresses that or heals it automatically. And if nothing painful or nothing, yeah, I guess if nothing painful happens to you, then you basically can't learn from it, and that means that you won't change as a person, right? And I feel like that was a really, really cool message that it had. I do think that once again we ended like at the beginning of this episode we found out that the reason why Ononoki is there is because she's trying to find a way to kill the phoenix, right? To kill Tsukihi, because she obviously, her and Yozuru, they are the immortal or oddity hunters, so they're trying to hunt the phoenix. And she's trying to kill her. And then we ended the episode without any progress on that. But we know that she's still in that house trying to kill Tsukihi. So what's going to happen with that? That's my question. And I'm guessing that in later arcs it's going to be addressed again. But yeah, it left a bit of a, not sour taste, but like it felt unfinished. Definitely. It added one cool element about Tsukihi and then ended, and it definitely felt unfinished because I thought that this arc is gonna go deeper into Ononoki and her trying to actually kill the phoenix, right? But that didn't happen at all. That is still up in the air and in limbo, so I'm waiting for that to happen. But even in saying all of those things, I really like, especially after finishing the Shinobu story or Acerola Bon Appetit, after finishing that and, you know, finding out about all of the oddities not being able to change and stuff like that, I would bump this up a bit. I would say it's actually a really good arc now that I think about it. I would say it's like here. It's a really good arc. Even if it is one episode long, it's really good. Okay, Nadeko. What's it called? Nadeko Draw. Nadeko Draw arc. Nademonogatari. Yes. The girl who was once a god, Nadeko Sengoku, she, who followed her dreams and was forced into reality, is successful in creating an alter ego by borrowing the power of the little girl Shikigami, Yotsugi Ononoki. However, the four Nadekos run away scattered. The oddities of these modern days. Youth is being unable to control even one self. Okay. I'm gonna say this, now that we are on the last two arcs. Nadeko is by far, in my opinion, the best character in the show. Is she best girl? For me, no, that's Shinjogahara. But when it comes to like purely character writing and stuff like that, she's the best character. And this arc is my #1 favorite arc in the show. The ending of this arc made me bawl. It was a fantastic arc. And just seeing Nadeko accept her past self and accept the things that she was, and then, you know, just seeing her character development from the beginning of the show, from this arc here to this arc here, is actually incredible. Like, it's actual just cinema. It's so good. It's so good. Like, Nadeko as a character is just, like, I don't know how they did it. Maybe it is because I related to a lot of the previous Nadekos that she that were brought up, as I said, during Otori Monogatari, or maybe it is just because she's that well written. But I just love this arc, and the ending of this arc was so good. I have nothing much else to say. Oh, the other thing that I'm gonna say, I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, but this arc has the best OSTs, by the way. Like a God Nadeko OST and all of the renditions of Reina Circulation, and there was another OST that I don't remember the name of, that was like preparing for battle or something like that. Those OSTs, I listen to God Nadeko OST on repeat sometimes. I have it downloaded. It's such a good OST. It's, I would say, like obviously the most famous one was Kaiki's OST, but this one, when it comes to like consistency, like throughout the entire arc, was just such incredible OSTs, man. So good. And then we're going on to the final arc, which is Acerola Bon Appetit. Waza Monogatari. The name Keyshot Acerola Orion Heart Underblade has always been attached to me. About 600 years from the present, this now the Shoit country was where the girl called the Princess Fair had lived, with such beauty that anyone would offer one's life for. The road the girl trod on became a mountain of corpses. Those are the legendary oddities. Youth is cruel like a fairy tale. Okay, so we are taking also the entire story. I don't remember what the story was called, but the episode 6.5 or whatever it was, we're taking that one into account as well. Yeah, it was a really good arc. I think the best part of this arc was actually like seeing the entire progression of oddities not being able to change, and then at the end, seeing that oddities in fact can change, right? Because Shinobu changed, because she changed her answer to, like she said that humans are monsters. But before like everything happened, when they first met, when Araragi and Shinobu first met, she said that humans are food, and that is definitely a change in an oddity, right? So that's interesting, and I thought about this a lot, and I was thinking, what is the entire point of the entire basketball club drama, right? What was the point of it in this show? Because it didn't feel like it was necessary for this arc. And then I realized that the reason why this is to show just why she holds that opinion, why Shinobu holds that opinion. It's to illustrate the humans as the bigger monsters than the oddities, right? It's to illustrate that we humans can do stuff that are much more horrible than the kings of oddities, the vampires, right? And I think that was the point of the entire basketball club drama in that, right? Is to illustrate how horrible humans can be. And it actually took me a few days to fully put that together. But once I realized that, this arc got bumped up a lot for me. I actually, even though you guys did tell me about a bunch of stuff that was actually missing from the anime, because apparently in the light novel it was explored a lot more and there were more details given, but still I do think that, yeah, as I said, the point is to paint all of the humans in this arc as the monsters, and the oddities are, you know, sometimes even more tame than humans are. And that's what led to Shinobu's opinion of humans are monster being so like so good, so poetic, you know. It was a fantastic arc. I would put it, it wasn't my favorite arc, but it was a really good one. I would put it here. I would put it here. Yeah, after everything, I'm gonna also do, no, I can't. Like, I can't. I know Nadeko too much now to actually bump her down. So this, let me go through this, and let me see if there's anything I want to change. Would this go down to like, no, I feel like having a lot of S tiers is fine. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it like this. So if we go one by one, what do we have here? We have oh my god. Let me actually see something. I don't know. We have Nadeko Draw, we have Tsubasa Tiger, we have Zoku Ori Monogatari, Ougi Dark, this is the one, yes. Then we have Otori Monogatari, Sodachi Lost, Koyomimonogatari, Ougi Formula, okay. And then we have Bon Appetit. What is it again? Shinobu Bon Appetit? I think so. Acerola Bon Appetit, something like that. Oh, actually, is it Shinobu Mastered? I think so. And then we have Nadeko Monogatari. Was that what it was called? I don't remember actually. But yeah, the snake one, the first Nadeko arc, and then there is the Hitagi Rendezvous, Tsukihi Undo, Oni Monogatari, Suruga Devil, or Suruga Devil, and then Mayoi Lost, or Mayoi Lost, Mayoi Snail, whatever it's called. Sodachi Riddle, Tsubasa Family. Ooh, the first arc. Kizumonogatari. The one that they go in the past. No. Koyomi Reverse. That's the one. Mayoi Hell. What's the name of this one? Jesus Christ, this is hard, guys. This is hard. It's hard to remember all of the names of the arcs. I don't remember what this one is called. But yeah, this one. And then there is Karen B, and then there's not Uni Monogatari. Doll, Yotsugi Doll. That's it. And then there's the one that go to the past, and then there's Tsukihi Phoenix, and then there's Hana Monogatari, Tsubasa. Oh wait, this is Tsubasa Family. This was Tsubasa Cat. And then there is Koyomi Monogatari. Okay, so this is. I'm gonna just leave it at this. I was gonna rearrange it a bit, but I feel like that's fine. So yeah, that's my arc. My voice is completely gone. I didn't want to like, you know, cut it again and then record the rest of it tomorrow because I already was at the end of it. But this is my list of the arcs from the Monogatari series. It's if I were to rewatch the entire series and then do this again, I'm not gonna do this by the way because it's way too long. If I were to do this again after rewatching the series, this would have been completely different. And maybe if I had different like experiences in life and stuff like that, it could also be very different. So your arc or your tier list can be completely flipped on its head from this one, and that's fine. That's completely fine. There's no right or wrong way to go about it. I definitely don't remember all of the details, so you can also make the argument of, oh, you just don't remember everything from that arc. It was actually incredible. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't. I definitely don't. So it's definitely fair that I don't know all of the details about every single arc. I forgot a lot of it. But even still, this is based on how I feel about those arcs right now, immediately, without doing too much research into them again. So yeah, this is my initial tier list of these arcs. So yeah, let me know, what do you disagree with? Did I make an oopsie? There may have been times where maybe I've mixed up some information that happened in some arcs and added it to different arcs. Very possible. Actually, I would say it's almost 100%. There's a 100% chance almost that this happened. But yeah, either way, let me know your guys' rankings. And also, I did say that I'm gonna make the Monogatari opening tier list. I feel like that would be fun, and I'm gonna do it at some point as well. It's gonna take some time, but I'm gonna do it. I'm not in a rush to do it, but at some point I'm gonna do it and release that as well, where I'm just gonna listen to every single opening and put it like on a tier list as well for all of the arcs. But yeah, anyways, that's gonna be all for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.